Well, 5 issues, 3 defective locks, 1 broken window, and here we are again. Is this another SmartCap fail? Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm Tony. This is Rim Country Overland. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone. This is not the planned start for the video. I'm actually coming to you one day in the future right now. Something happened during the repair that completely changed my perception of RSI and of the SmartCap. You're going to want to stick around to the end to find out what that's all about. And if you're thinking about buying a SmartCap, you are definitely going to want to stay to the end. I'll catch y'all back here in a few. Well, here we are again. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably already know some of the issues that I've had with my SmartCap. Just in case, I'll go ahead and catch you up. One, when I ordered the SmartCap, it was a one-piece top. Everything said it was a one-piece top in all the marketing, the material, and online in the website. When it came in, it was a 3-piece top. The second was fastener blocks. As I was installing the SmartCap, I found that I was missing fastener blocks. So I wasn't able to fully complete the install of the SmartCap right away. Then it leaked. That was probably the biggest one. I do have a video of that one. I'll put the video link down below. During an all-day rainstorm, the SmartCap leaked on multiple seams and let quite a bit of water into the SmartCap. Fourth, I've had multiple lock failures. I am now up to 3 lock failures. And then finally, and what brings us here today, the glass on the back of the SmartCap broke. On one of my most recent adventures, I was coming down off an obstacle, the bed flexed, and the flex in the bed caused the SmartCap to make contact with the back of the GMC. And the force of that impact caused the rear glass on the SmartCap to completely shatter in the middle of the trail. Fun times. And now you're up to speed. Now, I do want to give SmartCap some credit here. They have been on top of every single issue that I've had. I got an explanation on why I got a 3-piece top. Made total sense. They sent new fastener blocks out right away. They actually sent me more than I needed to make sure that I had plenty. When the SmartCap leaked, they were right on top of that as well. They offered to send me to a shop and have a shop take care of resealing the SmartCap for me. There wasn't a shop in my area that was experienced in doing so, so they sent me out the RTV sealant as well as everything else that I needed to reseal the cap myself, which is something I was already planning on doing at some point in time eventually. When it came to the locks, the first lock that failed, I let them know. They let me know that they have discontinued the new locks because of the issues that they were having with them. So they sent me out 6 of the old style locks so that I can completely replace them around my SmartCap. I replaced them one at a time until I had 3 of them fail. Because I had 3 of them fail, I actually gave my buddy 2 of my old ones because 2 of his failed. So I just replaced all 6 of those, and now we're here. So as I said, on the trail, the bed flexed and it caused the SmartCap to make contact with the cab on the GMC. It's tempered glass, so it just crumbled, and it was all over the trail. Had to clean that up, had to clean out the back of the truck. It was a mess. Once I kind of inspected everything, I think I found the issue. So with the SmartCap, there's a lip on the back of the tailgate. So I can only move the SmartCap so far towards the tailgate of the truck, and it leaves a very small gap at the cab. And the GMC, I don't know if you can see behind me here, but the GMC has kind of a protrusion that goes along the top, and the top of the SmartCap made contact with that protrusion. When I took the SmartCap off, you can actually see a definitive white line where it made contact, and there's even a small dent in the right-hand corner. It was that force of the contact that caused the glass to shatter. Luckily, no damage to the truck. Was it a design flaw that caused the issue? I don't know. I think it was. I personally don't think RSI allowed for enough of a gap between the SmartCap and the protrusion on the truck that would allow for enough bed flex for off-road use. I reached out to them. They got back to me. They asked for pictures. I sent them pictures. They got right back to me after that. They told me they were sending me out an entire new back panel, a new seal kit, and new fastener blocks to take care of it. Now, would I would have rather not had the issues in the first place? Yes. I definitely would have rather not had the issues in the first place. But it is what it is, and it's how a company stands behind their product. And I do want to give that credit to RSI, that they have stood behind their product, and I haven't had any hassles getting things taken care of. This one is definitely a little bit more involved in terms of the fix. I actually had to gather the family up. We had to take the rooftop tent off. I had to disconnect the power wall. I had to disconnect the compressor. I even had to take the fridge slide out of the truck to give me enough clearance to get the SmartCap off. Then we had to take the SmartCap off, flip it upside down so that I could do this repair. And then I got to get it all put back together again. So the million-dollar question, would I buy a SmartCap again? Well, before I answer that, I've got to get the SmartCap fixed, get it back on the truck, get everything hooked back up, because Mrs. Rim Country and I have a trip coming up in less than 5 days. So stick around and I'll give you that answer. But right now, I got to get to it. So overall, the total repair took us about an hour and 50 minutes. You'll see we started by taking the old seal off of the bottom. It left a lot more residue than we thought it would. So you see me there with a floor scraper trying to scrape off all that residue, and we used cleaners and everything else we could think of to try to get that residue off. It was a bit difficult. When we got it off, it also took off some of the paint from the SmartCap, which is why right now you see me with blue tape and masking everything off. And that is so that I could come back and hit it with some black Rust-Oleum paint, because any moisture or condensation that would get up under there would have ended up causing the bottom to rust out, which we definitely didn't want. So then I proceeded to take off all the fasteners so that we could pull off the back panel. That went pretty smooth without a hitch. We pulled out the new panel. I did have to clean off some of the old RTV sealant, and then we started to put the new panel back in place. Now, as we started to secure some of the fasteners, you see us with flashlights there, and that's because we ran into issue number 6 and 7. Stay tuned to the end of the video for those two. We ended up having to do quite a bit of work on that. What I'm doing right now is hitting the side of the SmartCap with a soft mallet and a piece of wood. So again, stay tuned for more on that one, and I'll give you some of those details. Once we got that done, we finished securing all the fasteners. Definitely a long and tedious process to get all those fasteners in place. And now you'll see me masking off again. And this is for issue number 7 that we found. So once we finally got that done, we started putting the old seal on. You'll see I'm using super glue on the corners because that's the weak point. So super glue helps to adhere it, and then I put a little bit of weight on the corners as well, just for a couple hours to make sure everything's nice and secure. And then we put the cap back on the truck. All right, another project wrapped up. Not exactly what I was hoping to do on a weekend, but you know, sometimes the more work you put in, the sweeter the adventures will be, right? At least that's what I'm gonna keep telling myself. Now, I owe you an answer on, would I buy the SmartCap again? Well, I had an answer. And after what just happened, that answer has now changed. You see, I wrote the script for this video a few days ago. I did the repair yesterday, and you may have noticed that I don't have the rooftop tent on the top of the SmartCap right now. And that's because I may very well be having to take the SmartCap off yet again in the near future. You see, as we were doing the repair, we ran into issue number 6 and issue number 7. So issue number 6 was the panel was warped. We couldn't tell that the panel was warped until we tried to actually line it up, and we noticed that it was actually protruding out on one edge. It was warped so much so that the areas where you would put the fastener blocks through wouldn't line up correctly. So we couldn't get the fastener blocks in. And we had issue number 7, which was the paint job. It looked like somebody had sprayed the panel in one direction, but didn't spray it from the other direction. So there's a flange on the panel, and on the other side of that flange, there was a strip of bare metal running on about a third of the panel. We had a choice to make. And unfortunately, I'm not in the position to where I could wait for SmartCap to send me out a whole new panel and leave the SmartCap off and taking up space in the garage. I was able to use a soft mallet, and we were able to kind of mold the panel back into the right shape that it needed to be. There's still a small crease there that you can see, but we just have to deal with it. And then I used some flat black Rust-Oleum paint to finish off the metal, so we at least got rid of the exposed metal. It works, it's on the inside, not really visible. But that wasn't the only issue with the paint. It wasn't until we flipped the SmartCap back over that we noticed the texture on that panel doesn't actually match the texture on the SmartCap itself. But it wasn't until we got it into the sun that we saw the real issue at hand. You can see metal underneath the paint. Now, I don't know what RSI's painting process is, but it looks like they just completely skipped a step. It's almost as if you were spray painting something and you came by with your first pass just to kind of get the initial coat on there, and then you forgot to put on the final pass. That's what it looks like anyway. Again, I don't know their process, but that's what it looks like. It is the worst paint job I have ever seen. I don't understand how you could miss this. This is bad. I'm gonna reach out to RSI and talk to them about it, see what they say. I'll shoot a quick update video when I hear back from them. I'm not looking forward to having to take the cap off and do another repair on it, but I'm not sure I'm gonna have much of a choice on this one. Before these two options, I was gonna be fair to RSI and I was gonna say maybe. If I had to buy it again, I would still look at them. I would look at their competition, but they would still at least be in the running. After issue number 6 and 7 and what took place, my answer is a simple no. I absolutely would not buy another SmartCap again. And I can't in good conscience recommend anybody else does either. Yes, they stand behind their warranty. That's fantastic. But their quality control is terrible. Frankly, they need to do better. You shouldn't have to use a warranty as much as I've had to use the one for the SmartCap. So will I be tossing this one? These bugs, man, holy cow. So will I be tossing this one and going with something else? No, I've got way too much money already invested in this. These bugs are absolutely going nuts. Sorry, it is hot, muggy out here in Arizona right now for all the rains we've had, and I am sweating up a storm, bugs everywhere. It's absolutely nuts. But no, I will not be taking the SmartCap off and tossing it and getting something else. I have way too much money invested in this already. That being said, if Extrusion Overland reached out and wanted to send me one of their exoskeletons to test out and do a review on, I would take this thing off in a heartbeat. Heck, I would even film myself throwing it piece by piece in the garbage for all of you. So Extrusion Overland, I highly doubt you're watching my tiny little channel here, but if you are, hit me up. So if you had all the issues I've had with the SmartCap, would you keep it or would you ditch it? I'll leave a pinned comment down below and let me know in that comment. Keep it, ditch it. Which one would you do? I am really curious what your thoughts are. While you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, give me all that good YouTube love. And until the next one, which hopefully will not be another SmartCap repair, I appreciate y'all watching. Love y'all. Catch you on the next adventure.